All right, now what I want to talk to you about now. I remember you saying you were in Berlin. Now, did you see combat during World War II, or were you there after the war?
The actual fighting was, the war wasn't officially over, but the actual combat was
pretty much over.
Berlin had failed already.
Mm-hmm.
And when we got there, they told us that our status would be occupation troops. Occupation. Which was fine with me. I stayed there. I come back in 48.
Okay. So you were there from what, 46 to 48?
I think it was about 2 years.
Yeah.
A little over. The Great Berlin Airlift. You were.
I remember hearing about that.
Hearing about it. Or
reading about it. Yeah.
Yeah. When the Russians blockaded Berlin in 47, and they had to get food in there, and the only way we could do it would be flied in. So, and me being in the Army, well, it was the Army Air Corps in those days, before they become a separate branch, you know. And that's what we went to. 1 solid year. I was due to come back. Well, they had me slated to come back. I've been there about a year, a little over a year, when that blockade started, so they extended us a duration of the blockade, which was a year. I didn't really mind because I had met a real sweet little German girl. Yeah,
I can remember that after, when I was little, Daddy'd be having one of his jam sessions, and you'd always say, "Hey, Tog, sing Fraulein."
You remember that?
Fraulein, Fraulein.
Old Tog.
And something about the Rhine River. Something about the...
That's part of it.
Is that part of the song? Yep. I can remember Daddy, you'd always ask Daddy, "Why don't you sing that Fraulein song, Tog?"
Gosh, you bring back memories. I completely forgot.
Yeah. I remember Daddy used to sing that one a bunch.
Yeah, he did.
For you. Now, you said you signed up again after, was it after you'd married Aunt Donna? And you said Korean War was starting. Did you see combat there, or were you just stateside?
No, we went overseas, but didn't see any combat.
But you never did see any combat. Okay. Were you in Korea then, or out in...
No, we didn't go to Korea.
Okay.
Our squadron, we had orders to go over there. But then they changed orders at the last minute, and we went to England.
Okay.
This was in 51.
Okay.
That's the year that King George died.
Okay.
He died, in fact, while our squadron was over there. We were there for 3 months. And Queen Elizabeth took the reins then.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that very well.
Huh.
Yeah.
So I remember y'all living in some Quonset huts somewhere.
That was at Port Hueneme.
Port Hueneme, okay.
Yeah.
Because I can remember going to see y'all. Was Uncle Don stationed there too?
No, he was never stationed there. He used to come down and visit with him.
Oh, okay.
Him and Irene and the kids.
But I could remember these Quonset huts, those kind of round buildings.
That's right. That's what we did.
And so how long were you there?
Let's see. Well, I have to go back just a little bit. I got out of the Air Force in 53. Discharged at Castlefield, California. In 53, after the Korean War ended. I stayed out for about a year, and I couldn't make a living. I just wasn't happy. So Brother Harold was the recruiting chief for the Navy at that time. He, I asked him one time, I said, "Harold," I said, "what's my chance of getting back in the service?" He said, "There'll be no problem." He said, "You've got a lot of experience, and that's what we always need." And I said, "Well," he said, "what do you want to go into it?" I says, "Well, we went to the Philippines, you know, for several years there to build a big naval air station, the CB, my construction battalion. There's 3 battalions over there."
So you were in the Philippines too?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I knew you had been in Germany.
Yeah.
I didn't know about England or the Philippines though. Okay, cool.
Yeah. We would go over there. The first trip we made over there was in 54. Yeah, 54. And we went to Subic Bay, Philippines. And we go over and stay 9 months. And then the monsoon season starts, and we couldn't do nothing, so we come back for 3 months to our home port.
Mm-hmm.
And just get to visit the family long enough to enjoy the kids and the Heidi that was back home, and load back on the troop ship and back over there. And that went on till 1960.
Okay.
Yeah, and then, that's when I took my discharge.
Okay.
Because our battalion, MCB3, our battalion got orders to go to Vietnam. That conflict was just starting then. But they had to have landing strips so they could haul in, you know, supplies, troops and supplies and whatever. And that's the first thing CBs to do is go in there and build landing strips, bases. So we had my battalion, MCB3 and MCB5 and 6. 3 battalions went over there. But I told my discharge date was in October that year. And I told my executive officer, he asked me about signing up again. They call it in the Navy, they call it shipping over.
Mm-hmm.
Or signing, re-enlisted. I said, no, I'm not going to. I had almost 16 years to, near 16 years. I said, I can't stand no more of that stuff. My kids don't even know me.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't. They scarcely knew me. I was gone so much at the time. I said, I'm not going to stay in the service. I'm getting out. And then the captain called me in his office and tried to persuade me to stay. But I went ahead and took my discharge and got out. And about a year later, we were, the family and I went by Port Hueneme again. I just wanted to see if there's any of my old friends that, you know, still there. Found one. Just one out of all them men I knew there in my company.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, we talked for a while. He said, George, I told him, he said, did you ever regret not going? I said, no. I didn't. For a while I didn't regret it. I was glad I didn't. He said, you better be thankful. Because when they got over there, they had no protection. They were the first in there to build these landing strips, and to clear the jungle, build landing strips in those.
Viet Cong?
Yeah, Viet Cong, we call them, the GIs call them gooks.
Mm-hmm.
They just sit at the edge of the jungle there and picking them off their heavy equipment like birds. They lost so many.
Yeah.
And after he told me that, I was not one bit sorry that I
that you
took my discharge.
Yeah.
I was happy then. But I was regretting it up to that point.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Well, with it being Memorial Weekend that we just had, it's good to remember those that served